So we've been working in Gimp for a while and doing some pretty cool stuff, but some of you are wondering, how might I use this in my own life? And so I know that a lot of kids want to be YouTubers. I know my kids want to put up some things, and so we're doing like a family vlog where we're doing activities, and but it's hard to get noticed on YouTube. There's just millions and millions of videos, and what's going to make yours stand out? And one of the things that can help it stand out are these little pictures on the side, the thumbnails. Okay, so we make a lot of choices by just the views, and so I can tell you right now, the normal, just normal pictures, probably not grabbing. Like this family here, it's a normal picture. Doesn't grab my attention that much. This one here, you can tell there's a little arrow and the girl's got a little glow around her. That helps a little bit. Then as you can see, some of these get a little bit more interesting. This one, they got some interesting looks, question mark. There's that red background. That wasn't an actual picture. They did some type of post-editing in Photoshop or Gimp. And so we're going to kind of go through the process of that. So I'm going to take you to Gimp. And to start out, we need a thumbnail size. And so I looked that up. And you're going to want to create a new image. And you want the size to be 2,560 by 1,440. That gives us a 16 by 9 ratio. Oh, and I had a color in there, so I'm going to have to add alpha channel and just delete that. So we're going to start with the background. We want something kind of interesting. I've already got a couple colors here that I chose earlier when I was practicing, and so we're going to just use the gradient tool. If I double click on it, it gives us some options. And so again, you would change these two colors, but if I click on this, it gives you some different ideas. This is the one we usually use, just or sometimes it's foreground to background, RGB, and if we drag it, you'll see it gives us a kind of look. And actually, I've got this, I need to go back to the linear. We're used to having linear here. So let me try that again. So this is something that we're typical. We have a light to dark. Depending on which way you pull will give you a different look. There, you could play with some things, or you could just look through here. It gives you some different colors. There are some different shapes. So this is very linear, as we said, but there are some that you might try. Radial is very popular, so maybe we do something like this. Okay, for the sake of time, you could play with these and find something, but I'll go with this. Okay, at this point I got a background that's more interesting than probably something else. I'm going to go ahead and go File, Open as a Layer. I took a picture of myself earlier outside, and it needs to be rotated, so I'll say OK. And you'll notice it is much bigger. I'm going to go to my Layers window here, and you'll see I'm on top. I need to scale this down, so right here I'm going to use my Scale tool. I'm going to zoom out a little bit. I'm going to click on this. Make sure this is locked, otherwise you'll get a crazy look. Actually, I'm going to unlock it to show you. I don't want to be all thin, unless you want that look. In fact, I'm going to go Control Z. I don't like that. I want to lock it so that it keeps the proportions correct. Now, one thing I noticed when I was practicing earlier as well, when I took the photo, I cut my arm off, so that would look weird if I were in the middle. So I'm going to put it right on the edge here. Stretch it out so it fills that space, and I think we're going to be pretty solid right there. Okay, at this point I'm going to zoom in. I want to cut out all these bricks. There's lots of ways. Some of us have used the fuzzy wand select. I tried it earlier and it didn't work as well. A lot of us might take the time with the lasso, which is good. Scissor select tool I'm going to try this time, and that kind of predicts where I'm trying to cut. And so I'm going to zoom in, start down here, and it kind of makes, if you don't like how it cut, you can just pull things back. But for the sake of time and getting through this video, I'm going to go through it rather quickly. I could fix these, like if I really wanted to be anal, I could move that out. But you'll see that when we're zoomed out and it's just a thumbnail, we're not going to see all those tiny things. Though, I like that you guys like to be perfect, and so I'm going to take my time going around. I'll probably speed this up in the video possibly to save you some time. Or you can just listen to my voice as I walk you through this. Which, ooh, see like that? We'll pull that in. Alright, so we're going down, zooming in so I can kind of get close, go down by my cheek. You can see my nice, crooked, and not quite white teeth. That's the beauty of seeing yourselves all zoomed in. Not very fun, but you know what? It's the beauty inside that counts. My kids love me. My wife loves me. So, orthodontia is no longer covered by health care. So I'm going to just be happy with my teeth. Alright, zooming back out a little bit. Okay, right here I'm going to just go up on the side. Actually, I'm going to take one spot out of there. Then I'll go up. And continuing along, giving you a big thumbs up. I probably should have shown my thumbnail, as this was a thumbnail. I showed you a thumb, but just not a thumbnail. Walking you along here. And at this point, I'm going to go all the way down to where my sleeve ends. I want to cut myself all the way out. Whoa, that's a big zoom. Go here, here. I got to double click to get myself glowing. Now if I press delete at this point, I'd lose me. So I want to make sure I select invert. Many of you know how to use Control I, the keyboard shortcut. And then I'll press delete. And look, I'm looking pretty good. Okay, now with myself already selected, I'm going to create a new layer. It is transparent. And I'm actually going to pull it below me because I want this to be, so I got to pull this layer below. Come on. Why aren't you moving? Okay, maybe it doesn't like that. I'm going to close these. I need to actually go select invert again so that I'm actually on the inside. And I'm going to want to grow this area so I can make that glowing look. So I'm going to go select, grow. I'm going to go by 10 pixels this time. And you might not have noticed, but I actually grew. Yeah, I did. And I'm going to grab, let's do white first. Or should I do black? I forget what I did. Well, you know what? We'll try this. I'm going to take my paint bucket, and actually I could say fill with foreground color, or I could have just taken my paint bucket. So now you're like, hey, you just blacked yourself out. That's why I wanted us below. Oh, it would help if I, okay, I need to deselect, I think is what's going on. Why is that not moving? Okay, I'm going to use these tools. Move down a layer. There we go. So you can see I've got a black outline now. And I'm actually going to take that. Because I took my last, I'm not glowing anymore, or I need to go alpha to selection so I'm glowing again. I'm going to make another layer. I am now going to grow it. So I'm going to go select grow again by 10. But this time I'm going to change it to white. And I'm going to say edit, fill with foreground color, which is white. And I need to once again move this layer down one. I'll use the arrows down here because the dragging didn't seem to work. When I turn on all my eyeballs, you'll see, hey, Control Shift A, take deselects, and look, I am glowing. It's looking good. Now you just need to add some text. And we'll use the same type of process of making our text and then adding, growing that text with black and white. So I'll grab my text. I'm going to say thumbnail. Now, right now it's not the right spot, but I'm going to say that's good. And I actually want to take this and I'm going to try to move it. And you know what? I'm not only going to move it, I'm going to rotate it. So I'm going to grab my rotate tool and we're going to kind of pull this. And that actually might even be a little too big. So let's see if I can scale it as well. So I'll zoom down. We're going to make that thumbnail. Remember, if you grab the middle, you can move it. There, that looks like it fits pretty good. Scale that. So I got a pretty good fit right there. So once again, I'm going to take this. I want to go alpha to selection. So I've got the font all shiny. I'm going to add a new layer. We're going to do the same thing we did with my picture. We're going to go select, grow by 10. You can see it's growing outside. And I'm going to use, go back to black since we're in white. And I'll say OK. I'm going to say edit, fill with foreground. And then I just need to move this layer down. And I don't know why mine's not dragging today. I'm going to have to use the arrows. And you can see at this point, hey, there's a pretty catchy thumbnail. I might have to add some things in. But that's the basics. So I want you to go ahead, maybe take a picture or grab a picture you find and try to make your own practice YouTube thumbnail. Hopefully you can be rich and famous someday being a YouTuber and you can thank me. All right.